People that ask me, can I give you guys an example of the hypnotic interview? If you've been following our ACH stuff for a while now, you know the hypnotic interview is the real way that we find the root cause. So we're not going into a session saying, you know, all problems stem from anxiety, all problems stem from childhood trauma, all problems extend because they don't feel good enough, because that's just all guessing. And if you go into a session guessing what you think your client's root cause is, you're going to royally screw it up, hence why your sessions and packages take so long and results aren't really good. So I'll give you an example of the hypnotic interview. Now, realize this is context-based. It's very hard to do this as a role play because I'm just going to give you a couple of random things here. Please go check out the other videos. We've got a ton of videos doing that. You'll be able to see like the demos we actually do with the students. You'll be able to see that hypnotic interview in action. So I'll give you the bare basics here. So the hypnotic interview, we always start in the same place, which we ask a client what the problem is. Let's use an example of like smoking, okay? So I might ask the lawyer, so what's the problem? He's gonna say, well, Scott, I'm a smoker and I can't quit, okay? From there, I found a little bit more about the information, okay, of what's happening with the client, but we know this is a symptom, it's not root cause, so we still have to keep investigating, finding the parameters of the problem. I might follow it up with a when, who, what, how, even a why question, because I know right now what my client has just told me is going to be completely surface level. It's going to be conscious. So beyond just understanding the questions, I could ask a question like, what stops you from quitting? How is this a problem? Why do you think you can't quit? Any of those questions. It's not the question I'm interested in that makes the hypnotic interview so freaking powerful. It's the response my client gives me. And it's not only their verbal response. What I'm closely looking for, I think, is called unconscious moments. Unconscious moments allows me to see is the information my client has given back from the question I just asked, is it conscious or unconscious? I need to find out if it is conscious, I can ignore that content. But if it's unconscious, this starts to lead me towards what the real root cause is. And we know there's millions, if not billions of different reasons why people smoke or have anxiety or have childhood trauma. They're all symptoms anyway, but we've got to find that root cause. So what I'm looking for is not so much finding the right question that's going to instantly drop my client into this breakthrough. I'm looking for the response. Is the response my client giving me more unconscious, which means that it's sort of giving me a clue that I'm on the right track. And if I find that out and I'm on the right track, I'm going to keep following and call it a path where it's sort of following the tail of the unconscious moment. Because the more I follow it, the more relevant unconscious information is going to come out. And that's going to give me the real root cause, which I can collapse and do all the fun therapy stuff with. But if I get conscious information, which is just a guess, I can ignore that stuff. Now, the difference between the two, I won't spend too long on this. We have plenty of videos for this as well. A more conscious response is a client will just snap back with a response. There's no thinking involved. It's like they've rehearsed that answer over and over. There's a lot of guesses, a lot of confusion, a lot of conclusions. That's pretty much all conscious. We can ignore that stuff. When you hear an unconscious moment as part of the response that you get back from your question, these are things like pausing, thinking, some emotions might come out, client might get confused, and they might not have an answer. You'll see some pretty relevant trance stuff starting to happen. That's letting me know that the answer they have given me is more unconscious. So the hypnotic interview is supposed to do that. It's supposed to help you find out what is conscious information compared to what is unconscious information. Now, if you're too busy trying to write down the answer, or you're too busy concluding you think you know what your problem, your client's root cause is, you're going to miss all this wonderful stuff. So I tell all my students, do not write a thing, do not prepare anything, do not write the answers down, do not go into the session having like the 5 best questions you could ask. Definitely do not go into the session thinking that all root causes come from X, Y, and Z, because you'll miss the point. Remember, 95, if not higher % of your clients' responses to all of your questions or the problem they're going to tell you they have is just a guess. It's a conscious guess. And if you are finding that your clients have to come back over and over and over, they have to listen to the audios, they have to do the homework over and over and over, it really gets nowhere, it's because you're still trying to fix the symptom, okay? So the hypnotic interview questions, how, what, when, who, why, an amalgamation of any of those things. Don't worry too much about getting the right question. That'll come with experience later. So the hypnotic interview will actually be shorter. Look at the response. Is the response they've given me or the answer they've given me, is it conscious or unconscious? That's how you get good at the hypnotic interview.